That shouldn't take too long. Eden looked at her watch. The guests will be arriving in under an hour. She smiled sweetly at the manager to soften the blow of her digging in her heels. I'm sure you can explain to the bridal shower party about my agreement. They can use the salon. It's big and cozy and historic. Thank you for doing this, Eden said with self-deprecating politeness, not allowing the club manager to attempt more excuses. Of course, Mr. Madison conceded, giving in to the utter charm with which Eden made her case. He turned away to do her bidding. Eden was alone again, with the silence of the building and the odd stillness that hung in the air. She immediately forgot Mr. Madison, confident that he wouldn't dare ignore the signed contract and risk the consequences. She continued to the wide staircase and climbed to the second level. The landing opened right in front of a bright room with high ceilings, its late 20th century furnishings more in line with the earlier styles of the salon. No chrome and glass here. But it was modern and comfortable, one wall entirely devoted to an enormous built-in filled with monographs, atlases, and attractively bound series and sets. It wasn't a library, but definitely a reading space for club members that was bright, relaxed, and uncluttered. Everett didn't like clutter either. Keep it simple had always been one of his mottos. Eden sighed and blinked, focusing. Here, there were 3 round tables set up for a luncheon. The tablecloths were pink, and there was a large, ornate bouquet in the center of each table. This layout was what the club manager had expected to function for the bridal shower. Eden heard sounds beyond a partition at the end of the room, and 2 young men in black slacks and pristine white shirts, waitstaff, appeared with a rolling service cart. We're here to move the flowers downstairs. We'll be back for the tables in a sec, one of the men said. Thank you. I know this is last minute, but could you hurry? My guests will be arriving soon. She watched as the 2 men quickly loaded the cart with whatever would fit and headed back to the discreetly placed service elevator. Eden returned her attention to the room, quickly assessing if there was a need to rearrange furniture. She was relieved that there wasn't. Maybe just repositioning some of the chairs into small clusters and placing the small side tables conveniently for glasses and plates. She began to do some of the moving on her own. The manager reappeared and rushed to assist Eden when he found her attempting to shift a club chair so it faced the center of the room. Ms. Marsh, please! You don't have to do that. My team will take care of everything. I don't mind, she responded agreeably. I can move a chair. Yes, the manager said with a nervous chuckle. I can see you're very capable, but I don't want to add a line item on the contract that includes coverage for injuries. She stepped back and turned to look around again. Satisfied that it was all coming together, Eden headed for the staircase. Is there something else? I just want to check how things are going in the kitchen. I don't want my food platters to end up as hors d'oeuvres at the shower. But Eden was already halfway down the stairs, carefully maneuvering in her 2-inch pumps. She did a light and graceful jog down the hallway, past the entrance, in the direction of the catering department. She could hear the activity and the shouts and orders among the staff as they hurried to accommodate 2 events scheduled at the same time. She caught a glimpse of the folded tables for the buffet, a short stack of tablecloths, a box with other wares and supplies, and an easel, all stuffed into the little elevator. The 2 men Eden had already seen working on the second floor managed to squeeze in, the doors closed, and the elevator ascended. She looked around and spotted several platters of food. I'll take this up, she announced, and without waiting for a response, she lifted one of the plastic-wrapped trays and headed back to the staircase. Eden heard the main entrance door open behind her as she walked past. A cool wave of late winter air wafted over her, but she didn't look to see who'd come in.